is Histories and Mysteries. I'm Ashley.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Rochelle.
And on this episode, Ashley is going to be doing her first part in a two-part series on the Gabby Petito case.
Yep.
And Rochelle is going to be doing an episode on crystal healings and divination.
Ooh, so a little something sad, a little something to lift you up.
Yes.
Perfect. So I started this story because obviously it's in the news a lot. Jessica had suggested that I do it, and it's easy to see why it caught the attention. I mean, one, she's a very attractive, white girl. So unfortunately, people of color don't get as much attention as they should. But I did want to do this case because it's so fresh. And I don't know, this one kind of got to me a little bit. And I think it is because it's so fresh and it is in the era of social media. So you basically could follow her life. And so it's almost like you're seeing someone and then you know what happens to them. And it's just a little sad. It just got to me a little bit, but.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one of those standout cases.
Yeah, for sure.
And I didn't read anything up on it because I wanted to hear it from you.
Oh, that's so nice.
I've been following it pretty closely.
Yeah, and I've obviously seen it in the news and I've heard the different things, but I didn't really follow it too much. I would read the headlines and stuff, but I didn't dive into it. So this is interesting. And hopefully by the time we record my part 2 and it comes out, we'll have a little bit more information, but I'm not holding my breath because we're still waiting on those bones from the Moore Murray case. So
are you trying to talk about the conspiracies behind it and the different things they think it might be?
I don't have that too much in here. So if you have any off the top of your head, Rochelle, feel free to jump in.
Okay, maybe I'll do that on a later episode.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Did you ever get any more information on that other case that you had done previously?
Oh, that's what I just said. We're still waiting on the Moore Murray bones. So.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. All right. So let's say I tried to get more information on Gabby herself because a lot of the stuff focuses just on what happened to her. And I tried to get more on just who she was. So Gabby Petito was born on March 19th, 1999. Ooh, youngin. In Blue Point, New York.
She's younger than me.
Yeah, she's youngin. She was the oldest of 6 siblings.
Wow.
And when she was about 14 years old, it's kind of just an interesting tidbit, her and her brothers appeared in a music video inspired by the Sandy Hook Elementary shooting to raise awareness for gun violence. So,
oh my God. The way you were saying that, I expected it to be a happy thing.
Oh, no.
And then they were they were in a music video inspired by the Sandy Hook shooting. Oh.
Yeah, not a happy thing, but they were trying to raise awareness for gun violence. So
that's sad.
Yeah. So Gabby had been bitten by the travel bug at a young age. While she was in high school, she visited the Bahamas and Costa Rica, which was just the beginning of all the places she would go in her short life. She met Brian Laundrie in high school in Long Island, New York. Some sources say they dated briefly in high school before breaking up when Brian graduated. Some say they didn't date till 2019 after they had both graduated, but they definitely knew each other in high school.
That's not a red flag name. Take out the dirty laundry.
Right? Exactly. Once Gabby graduated in 2017, she moved to Carolina Beach in North Carolina, where she worked as a hostess at a Wilmington, North Carolina restaurant. She apparently also applied to Cape Fear Community College, but she never decided to go. And I looked and I could not figure out how, but somehow at some point in March of 2019, Brian and Gabby reconnected. They decided to start dating again, and eventually they moved down to Northport, Florida to stay with Brian's parents. While there, Gabby worked as a pharmacy tech and Brian sold watercolors and digital artwork, which was okay at best. I looked up his Instagram and they're not great.
No.
It was a lot of like already drawn things like Simpsons characters and like Nightmare Before Christmas characters and stuff like that. So nothing like super cool.
No.
I don't know. I don't like him anyway, so his art sucks. Anyway. So in late 2019, early 2020, the couple decided to take one of their first long trips across the country. They drove from New York to California, and Gabby posted pictures all along the way. She had a bit of a social media following just from her travels. And so she was kind of wanting to be more of a travel blogger and a social media influencer in like the travel kind of realm of it. Gabby posted pictures in January on her Instagram from Santa Monica and from Pismo Beach in February. So this was all part of that New York to California trip. They were back in Florida in time for Gabby's 21st birthday in March of 2020. But then COVID-19 hit. It's crazy to me because I've never done a story this early. And so just talking about like current events and stuff within it, it's insane.
Yeah.
But COVID-19 hit and both her and Brian quit their jobs, but that didn't stop the couple from moving forward with their lives. In July of 2020, the couple took a trip where Brian proposed. Gabby announced the happy news on her Instagram with a picture of her and Brian on their first date and a caption that read, "You make life feel unreal and every day is such a dream with you." Despite these happy pictures and messages, not all was perfect with the couple. A few close friends said that they had very high highs and very low lows. One friend even reportedly said their relationship was toxic.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But isn't that always the case? It's so much harder to see the toxicity in your own relationship.
Yeah.
So in December of 2020, Gabby purchased her Ford Transit Connect van that was converted into a camper. It was what they were going to use on their next cross-country vacation. Their plan was to travel to Portland, Oregon to visit a friend for Halloween. And they were going to document this whole trip on their social media. And again, this was like hoping to do a travel blog along the way and kind of gain some followers. And they were often using the hashtag van life. So in July of 2021, their van was ready. It was camper ready, and they decided to head out. Gabby had said that buying the van was the best decision of her life. So the trip started out well. It was everything she wanted. And in the first month, they visited tons of parks. They visited Monument Rocks, Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve, Zion National Park, Mystic Hot Springs, Canyonlands National Park. But all of this came to an abrupt end on August 12th, 2021.
That's crazy. That is so recent.
I know.
Yeah.
So on this day, August 12th, the Moab, Utah 911 service received a call from a witness who said she saw a couple fighting in front of the Moonflower Community Cooperative. She saw the man slap the woman. The couple ran up and down the sidewalk and then saw the man hit the woman again before driving off. Another witness said the couple was talking aggressively and that Gabby was punching Brian in the arm. This witness claimed that it looked like Brian was trying to leave Gabby and trying to take her phone with him. But eventually Gabby got into the van through the driver's side, moved to the passenger side, and said, "Why do you have to be so mean to Brian?" before they drove off. When the police tracked down Brian and Gabby, they got like reports of the vehicle and they found it. And so they did a traffic stop. They separated them immediately to get their own stories. And there's body cam footage of these conversations. So initially, Gabby kind of downplayed what happened, saying, quote, "Yeah, I don't know if some days I have really bad OCD. I was just cleaning and straightening up I was apologizing to him, saying I'm sorry that I'm so mean because sometimes I have OCD and sometimes I can get really frustrated. Not like mean towards him. It's just like my vibe is I'm in a bad mood. And I was just saying, I'm sorry if I'm in a bad mood. I had so much work I was doing on my computer this morning. And I just now quit my job to travel across the country. And I'm trying to start a blog. I have a blog. So I've been building my website. I've been really stressed. And he doesn't really believe that I could do any of it. So we just been fighting all morning and he wouldn't let me in the car before." So through all of this, she's bawling, like crying and hyperventilating and gasping and just really upset. And so the officer said, hey, just be honest with me. I can see the marks on your face and I can see the marks on your arm. And here's a conversation. So the officer said, so there's 2 people that came to us and said that they saw him hit you. There's 2 people that say they saw him punch you. Independent witnesses by the Moonflower. Gabby, well, to be honest, I definitely hit him first. Officer, where'd you hit him? Gabby, I slapped him in the face. Officer, how many times did you hit him? Gabby, just a couple. Officer, and then his reaction was to do what? Gabby, grab my arm so I couldn't slap him. Officer, he just grabbed you. Did you hit him though? It's okay. It's understandable if you hit him and then he hit you, but we just want to know the truth if he actually hit you. Gabby, I guess, yeah, but I hit him first. Officer, where did he hit you? Don't worry. Gabby, well, he like grabbed my face like this. He didn't like hit me in the face. He didn't like punch me in the face or anything. Officer, did he slap your face or what? Gabby, well, he like grabbed me with his nails and I guess that's why it looks like this. Like I definitely have a cut right here and I can feel it when I touch it, it burns. And at one point, Gabby asked the police not to separate her from Brian, saying like, we're a team, please. It's going to give me so much anxiety. Can we just have like a driving ticket? And the officer said, the very best thing I can do is call my supervisor and see if I'm missing something here. So a USA Today had to speak to the body cam video. He said that it was rife with red flags, stating that Brian is calm and laughing, almost bonding with the officers after he apparently sped away from them initially. And he even goes as far as to say that Gabby is crazy, but he still cares about you, kind of playing into that hysterical woman, crazy, whatever. But Gabby is crying and hyperventilating. She's blaming herself for the incident. But who's also blaming her? Brian. I know. And I think that's pretty typical of domestic assault victims. They try to downplay it and blame themselves while the abuser also blames them and calls them crazy. So because of this, she is deemed the primary aggressor. And so they would have to charge her with domestic violence instead of Brian. So they decide not to press charges at all. And they just take Brian to a hotel for the night instead and just keep them separate. So 5 days later, on August 17th, Brian flew from Salt Lake City back home to Tampa, Florida to grab some things they needed and empty and close a storage unit to save them money because they were thinking about extending the road trip. But we know Gabby was still alive at this time because on August 27th in Jackson, Wyoming, the couple was spotted again in a restaurant in another area. And again, they were fighting. Gabby was in tears and Brian was angry. Witnesses said that he went in and out of the restaurant several times and was showing his anger towards the staff around the hostess stand. The witness said the staff he was arguing with was all female and it seemed to be about the bill or money or something. They said, quote, they left abruptly and Gabby was standing on the sidewalk crying and Brian walked back in and was screaming at the hostess and then walked back out and then walked back in 4 more times to talk to the manager and to tell the hostess off. So not only is he a murdering douchebag, but he's a murdering douchebag that's mean to staff, which I also hate.
Mm.
So the witness said she even saw Gabby walk back in and try and get Brian to leave at one point while kind of apologizing to the staff for his behavior. That same day, Gabby's mom received a message from Gabby saying, "Can you help Stan? I just keep getting his voicemails and missed calls." So Stan is Gabby's grandpa, but Gabby's mom said she never referred to him by his name, which is, I think, weird. Who calls their grandpa Stan?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this text message sent up a bunch of red flags for her. And so she kind of thinks that Gabby didn't send that message. And apparently Gabby spoke very frequently to her family. But on August 30th, they received what would be their last point of contact from her in a text that just says no service in Yosemite. But again, they don't think she wrote that either. All right. Another haunting report is that on August 29th, a woman says that she and her boyfriend gave Brian a ride in Wyoming, where he said he'd been camping by himself for multiple days while Gabby was at their van working on her social media posts. Apparently, there was some kind of weird miscommunication and the couple were heading to Jackson Hole, but Ryan thought they were heading to Jackson. So he told them to stop and get out of the vehicle. So he could get out of the vehicle. I guess he was kind of an ass about it. And then he apparently got out near Jackson Dam. Another Wyoming resident said that she picked Brian up from Jackson Dam, that same night and gave him a ride to the Spread Creek dispersed camping area, which is where Gabby's body was found. Brian told the lady that he and his fiance had a travel blog and that she was in their van at the camping area working on the blog, but that he had been hiking along the Snake River embankment for a few days. But she said that he didn't look dirty at all, like you would if you were like camping along a river, right? So this brings us to September 1st, 2021, when Brian returned to his parents' home in Florida in the van without Gabby. Yeah. So he just came home, no Gabby. And then for some reason on September 6th and 7th, his parents and him thought it would be a great idea and they went camping. They went about 75 miles from their home. So clearly they are not really worried at all. Nothing was ever said. No one ever mentioned anything to authorities or to Gabby's parents that, hey, Brian's home, but Gabby's not. And on September 11th, Gabby's mom finally called the police to report Gabby as a missing person because she had not heard from her since August 30th. Immediately, police went to the Laundrie home where they were both basically given information for Laundrie's lawyer. The Laundries didn't tell police anything. And finally, on September 15th, Brian was officially named as a person of interest. Okay. So Gabby's family could not comprehend why Brian wasn't talking. Her stepdad said, quote, "It's absolutely absurd. You refer to her as the love of your life. Everything seemed to be happy. Why are you silent?" The police even took to social media, pleading with the Laundrie's lawyer to arrange an interview. Northport Police Chief Todd Garrison said to reporters, "We share the frustration with the world right now. 2 people went on a trip and 1 person returned, and that 1 person isn't providing us any information." The police even took to social media, pleading with Laundrie's lawyer to arrange an interview. Northport Police. What's weird to me is that the whole thing's weird, right? Like they thought that people would just never notice that Gabby didn't come back. But also, how can you just like not talk to police? Like, I didn't think that was an option.
Oh, sorry. That was a question. It is an option. It just, it's usually, sometimes it could be like, what is the word? Like interfering with an investigation kind of thing. Like it's almost like a mischief charge, right? Because you're not cooperating.
Right. Yeah. So I just thought that was weird. But the Laundrie family attorney released a statement saying that the family declined comment, apart from saying that they hope Gabby gets home safely. And another statement emailed, the lawyer said that the family is remaining in the background as the search continues. He goes on to say, the Laundrie's lawyer, that in my experience, intimate partners are often the first person law enforcement focuses their attention on in cases like this. And the warning that any statement made will be used against you is true, regardless of whether my client had anything to do with Miss Petito's disappearance. As such, on the advice of counsel, Mr. Laundrie is not speaking on this matter.
Yeah, of course.
Which, yes, I agree. Like, if someone goes missing, the first person they look at is the partner.
That would have been smart.
And generally it's probably in your best interest not to talk to police without a lawyer present. However, he was the only one with her, and then he comes home. Like, he obviously, it's not like him talking is like, oh, did he have something to do with it or not? Like, he obviously had something to do with it, and him talking is like, at least make something up, dude. Like, we know you did something, right? Like, if nothing else, say someone attacked you and you got away, you know, with just an inch of your life, like something. Yeah. So the Petito family attorney read a letter by the Petitos at a news briefing and said to the Laundries, "Please, if you or your family have any decency left, please tell us where Gabby is located. Tell us if we're even looking in the right place. All we want is for Gabby to come home. Please help us make that happen." It's just awful for her family. He also said that Gabby's family reached out to Brian's family earlier that month for information on Gabby's whereabouts, but the family refused to answer. Petito's family continued, "We haven't been able to sleep or eat, and our lives are just falling apart." Finally, after days of pleading with the family, the Laundries requested that the police come to their house to speak with them. Finally, they were going to speak. It's what everyone had been waiting for. So the police went and spoke to them, and as they left, they told reporters that the Laundries didn't ask them there to talk about Gabby. In fact, they asked them there to tell them that they hadn't seen Brian since September 14th. He was missing. Yes. He said that he had left for a hike on September 14th, which they later changed to the 13th, and that they had not seen him since. They said that they changed the date because they were basing it on their recollection of certain events. I can see where it sounds fishy. I can also see where you're like thinking about things and you're like, oh, wait, no, that was the 13th, you know. But either way, on September 19th, the FBI found human remains in the place where it was believed Gabby had last been seen. The next day, the FBI went to Brian Laundrie's home and questioned his parents. They were then escorted out of the house while the FBI executed a search warrant. During this time, the police said they had exhausted their search efforts at the nature preserve that Brian's parents said he was at, and said they were going to shift their search. It wasn't until September 21st that the coroner confirmed the remains they found were indeed those of Gabby. And finally, on September 23rd, police issued an arrest warrant for Brian, who at this time is still missing, for the use of unauthorized devices. So basically, he used a credit card that wasn't his to pull out about $1,000 or more between August 30th and September 1st. But it wasn't until October 12th that Gabby's cause of death was finally released. It was ruled a strangulation. And they said that her body was outside in the wilderness for about 3 to 4 weeks before it was found, which would put her death around the mid to end of August. Back on October 7th, Brian's father joined the investigators as they searched the Carlton Reserve. They searched in areas the family knew that he used to frequent. But it wasn't until October 20th that Brian's remains were actually found, along with some of his belongings. An odd thing about this is that the night before the October 20th search, Brian's parents called and said they were going to come help. After a brief, and the article put brief in quotations, so you know it was brief search, the family and law enforcement found Brian's things. They then called in a cadaver dog and found his remains. So they had been searching for him for weeks and weeks and weeks. All of a sudden, his family show up and they find him immediately.
I think the parents did it.
They confirmed through dental records that this was the remains of Brian. And they said the place they found him was previously underwater, which is why they couldn't search that area until now. The autopsy could not determine the cause of his death, so it has been sent to an anthropologist for further examination. And that's all we have. So hopefully we'll get a cause of death for Brian. I'm going to tell you my theory, Rochelle, and then I want to hear what you think.
Yeah.
Rochelle's cat.
Oh, yeah.
So I think, because Brian was known to have outbursts, right? And had anger issues. I think he strangled her, obviously. I don't think he meant to kill her. I think it was an accident, like a fit of rage. And so he didn't know what to do and he left, right? So I think that in this time that since he accidentally killed her, I think he couldn't handle the amount of press that was happening. And I think he went out and killed himself. That's my theory.
I still don't know if the remains are really him.
So that is another theory I've heard, because they did it through dental records. And someone mentioned, have you guys seen House MD, the show?
No.
Okay, well, in the spoiler alert for anybody that hasn't seen House, but it's like an early 2000s show. In the last episode, he fakes his death, and he does so by leaving a scorched body with dental records that are identical to his, even though it's not him. So
I don't know. There's something fishy going on.
Oh, for sure. I think what happened was, I think the parents were holding him, like covering for him. I think he was holding out somewhere that they knew. And I think he went off by himself and killed himself, and they didn't know. And that's when they called the police. But it is fishy that they were able to find him so quickly once they joined the search. So
Yeah,
I'm
and
not
his
sure about
dad
that.
is, have you seen the pictures of his dad like laughing with the police?
No.
So creepy.
Like when they found his body.
Yeah, like during the search.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. It's insane, and I can't wait till they get more information, like Brian's cause of death and everything. But I have a feeling that since the coroner couldn't determine and they had to go to an anthropologist, I don't think we're ever going to get answers.
I also just think it's weird that like as soon as his family showed up, they found the body, right?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
how do you not think the family's not involved in some way, right?
Yeah. I did see a TikTok that there was like this guy, and he's in the woods, and he's like saying he's Brian's parents, and they're like looking around, and they like throw his backpack, and they're like, oh my gosh, look, it's right here.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's extremely interesting because of all the twists and turns and the domestic violence flags and the mental health issues. There's just so much in this story, and hopefully more will come out, but I just have a feeling that we're never going to know what happened.
That's so sad.
I know.
Like, I hate it. And I just think it's very weird that, like, you know, he's dead too.
Yeah.
The whole thing is just a wild ride.
It is. And it's sad because if you look at her like Instagram before all this, like she was such a happy-go-lucky, like she described herself as a free spirit, and like I think her Instagram like top of the page says like vegan fun or something along like just a very like spiritual, happy person. And just to be taken out of this world, especially so young at the age of 22, it's really sad.
It's awful.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like a lot of different conspiracies that are springing up, like the fact that he's might not actually be dead, or like this is a distraction for something else. And don't know.
It could be. I mean, it took the country by storm, right? If you wanted a distraction. Well, if we get any more information on this case, we'll obviously update as we go. And like Jessica said, we haven't forgotten about the Maura Murray one. So as soon as we get more information on that, we'll update that as well. But let's lift ourselves up a bit, Rochelle.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you for covering that story, because I had been holding out on it and I wasn't entirely sure what was going on. So thank you for covering that.
Yeah.
It's insane. Okay, so let's dive into like the mystical side of things and talk about crystals. So I'm curious to know what your opinions on crystals are. Have you caught the bug? Have you jumped onto the bandwagon?
I have. I really, really want to be into them. And like, I think they're really pretty. And I do think that like different materials can affect us in different ways. I just don't know if I'm all in on it yet.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of how I feel.
I just think they're really pretty.
They're so pretty.
Like amethyst is my favorite.
Hey, that's Oliver's birthstone.
Hey, that's nice.
Cute. All right. So crystals, what are they? Crystals are nothing more than an established batch of molecules or atoms. Yeah. They come in many different shapes and sizes, and they each have different characteristics. What the crystal is made of will determine how it will form. For example, salt forms cubes. Some elements can create more than one shape. All crystals form when atoms come together and become a uniformed cluster. The process could take a few days to 1,000 or so years. That's like when you see the pictures of those gigantic quartz.
Yeah.
Big cave. They're like bigger than a person.
Yeah.
Natural crystals found in the Earth's crust occur when the liquid in the Earth consolidates and the temperature chills, while other crystals form when the liquid makes its way through the clefts and dispenses minerals into them. Crystals can form in many shapes, from simple cubic structures to hexagonal, to hexagonal, I didn't do good in math or science, so.
That's okay. I said pure earlier, so.
On the pier. To double pyramids to tall spires. Some are symmetrical, while others aren't. The shape is determined by its chemical components and chemical bonds. Sometimes the crystalline structures carry over into the liquid state, becoming a liquid crystal that's often used in modern technology.
Ooh.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill. Oh my gosh. So I used to teach high school science and I love Bill Nye. I always say he's my soulmate. I have a Bill Nye bobblehead. My students made me a Bill Nye poster. Like, I love him.
So, metaphysics and crystal healing. This is where it gets a little woo-woo, I guess.
A little woo-woo.
Since the beginning of time, people have turned to crystals as a source of healing. They are rocks born from elemental energy and are said to be able to transmute that energy back to us. Healing crystals have a long history. They have adorned the breastplates of priests and warriors, used in shamanic services, used in ancient tribes, and stashed in the pockets of princesses, sailors, and healers. Ooh. In the modern world, crystals can be a hugely valuable asset for helping us reconnect to the natural world. We can use them to channel our own intentions, raise our vibrations, and bring out your own personal magic. Ooh. They hold positive vibrations and cleansing properties too. So how do you pick a crystal? There's so many. Which one do you pick? One of the most important lessons we can learn from crystal healing is to tap into our own intuition. Do you feel like you're a very intuitive person?
I want to say I am, but I feel like I'm just oblivious to everything.
What about you, Jess?
I think I am, like, in some things. I don't know. I feel like I don't trust my gut enough. And I really should, kind of thing.
Yeah, I gotcha.
A great way to choose a crystal to work with is just to see what one calls out to you. So maybe Jess at amethyst should be your first investment. Take this as a sign from the universe that it is the right crystal for you. Okay. We could also use our own strengths and weaknesses to choose gemstones to help balance us and work on areas where we need a little extra help. If you're still unsure, you can use your zodiac sign to guide you towards the crystal.
Oh, okay.
So that all of the zodiac signs are different crystals associated with them.
Ooh.
It may also be helpful to identify what it is you feel you may be missing in your life. Once you've chosen a stone, you can start creating a connection to them.
Okay.
How do you use them? Hold them when you need a little support or reassurance. Use them while you meditate or do yoga. Pop one in your bra for all-day support.
That's so funny.
I like that one, Rochelle. That was a good one.
Thank you. I got this from the wellnessnest.com, by the way.
Nice.
Take a bath with them, but be careful and make sure that you're only taking baths with water-safe crystals.
Oh.
Decorate your space with them. Put them under your pillow. Use them as an energy cleanser or put them in your plant. So how do you cleanse them? Keep them nice and clean and not in like a soap and water kind of way, but in like an energy way.
I've heard of like moon cleansing.
Yeah. So put them outside or on a windowsill during a full moon. Use rainwater or salt water again. Make sure that they're safe, water safe crystal. Smoke cleanse with incense or other herbs. Bury them for 24 hours.
Ooh.
Use a cleansing crystal like selenite. So I wanted to go through some of the more popular crystals, starting with Jessica's favorite, amethyst.
Okay.
Best used for protection against fear and feelings of guilt, instilling calmness, alleviating anxiety, and pleasant dreams.
Aw.
Ooh, Jess, you could use that, I
Oh,
think.
yes.
I think we could all use that one, but
So next is the train, which is my birthstone.
oh, I think no, mine's Topaz. Is that the same thing? That's different, right?
Yeah, it's both. Is it November?
Yeah.
I don't know what mine is.
What month are
like
you?
Sapphire something. I'm September.
September, I think that's right. So citrine is grounding negative energy, aiding in smoothing family or dynamic group problems, promoting love and happiness, and guarding against those who would break your heart.
Ooh, I could have used that in my early 20s.
Used as an emotional shield against spite and jealousy.
Oh.
And one of my personal favorites, which is rose quartz.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Pink one. Healing emotional wounds, cultivating divine love, improving compassion and friendship.
Aww.
Definitely need that one.
Yeah. Tourmaline, creating a healthy digestive system.
Oh, I need that.
Making stronger bones and teeth and increasing self-confidence. It's also said to attract prosperity and connect us to a more compassionate disposition. So that's a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the crystal of all crystals, this is the one that they say if you can't get any other ones, get this one because it can
quartz?
Step in. Yeah, clear quartz. So if you are in the market for a crystal, but you don't know where to start, or maybe you can't afford more than one, this one can be used for everything.
Nice.
So supporting professionals in the artistic community, musicians, those in media, doctors, useful for migraines, headaches, vertigo, or motion sickness. And they use quartz in watches and stuff too, really expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I have a list of so many of them. So I'm just gonna read some names of some of the other ones that you might be interested in. So selenite, obsidian, carnelian, agate, lapis lazuli, fluorite, black tourmaline, hematite, kyanite, aventurine, jasper, pyrite, labradorite, moonstone, jade, celestite, bloodstone, aquamarine, smoky quartz, chrysocolla, tiger's eye, rhodonite, malachite, sodalite, garnet, amazonite, azurite, lowlite, calcite, apatite, howlite, kunzite, opal, lepidolite, angelite, apophyllite, sunstone, and topaz. Just to name a few.
Just a few.
So how do they actually work? Do you have any ideas on how they actually work, or what they're supposed said to do?
I feel like it has something to do with maybe chemical compounds, but I don't know.
Crystal healing is an alternative medical technique used to cure illness and protect against disease. Proponents of this technique believe crystals act as conduits for healing, allowing positive healing energy to flow into the body as negative disease-causing energy flows out. Scientifically speaking, there is no evidence that crystal healing can be used to cure diseases. Nevertheless, they still remain very popular. It is thought that crystals may also have a relaxing effect, although there is no scientific evidence of this either. I think people need to do some more science.
Yeah, get some more
people do
results
some more science
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Allegedly, crystal healing is an ancient practice dating back to 6,000 years ago.
That's crazy.
Wow.
It's been around for 6,000 years, and science hasn't been able to prove or disprove it yet.
Yeah, that's insane.
Geez, priorities. 6,000 years ago, during the time of Sumerians in Mesopotamia. Ancient Egyptians are also among the first people to adorn themselves with crystals like lapis lazuli, carnelian, and turquoise to ward off illness and negative energy. The philosophy of modern crystal healing is based on traditional concepts borrowed from Asian cultures. Most notably, the Chinese concept of qi, or life energy, and the Hindu-Buddhist chakras said to connect the physical and supernatural elements of the body. In crystal healing, stones are assigned various properties, though different people have different views. During a treatment, a crystal healer may place stones on your body aligned with the 7 chakra points. The stones and their positions may be chosen for the symptoms reported by the client. It is all influenced by the chakra philosophy of disease and energy imbalances, a philosophy largely dismissed by Western medicine. I'm finding the divide between Eastern and Western medical practices so interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting kind of because obviously most Western medical practices kind of spawned from Eastern or, something along those lines. So how did it kind of split so much?
Yeah. Crystal healing also involves the use of stones worn on the body or placed under pillows to ward off sickness, shed negative energy, or absorb positive energy. While there aren't any scientific studies on the efficacy of crystal healing, there is a study to suggest it may induce a placebo effect. So even if
I could get behind that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I've heard a lot of people just use it. It's a way to focus your intention if you're trying to meditate. So it's more symbolistic than anything.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't believe in that kind of stuff. It's nice to kind of have that placebo effect.
Yeah. In 2001, the University of London presented a paper in which they outlined their study on the efficacy of crystal healing. 80 people were asked to meditate for 5 minutes while holding either a real or fake crystal. Oh. What do you think happened?
I think everybody felt great.
Yeah, I think so too. I think everybody felt something.
They all believed they had the real deal.
Yeah.
Before
mind over matter. It's crazy.
Half of the participants were told the effects that the crystal may have on them after they answered questions about whether they felt any effects. Researchers found no difference between those who used a fake and those who used a real crystal.
That's funny.
So yeah, if you have a crystal and it's not real, fucking screw whoever tries to tell you that you can't use it.
Right. You do you, boo.
Yeah. So crystals also come in a lot of different shapes or cut in a lot of different shapes, and the different shapes all have different meanings.
Oh, okay.
So the point or the tower can have 6 or 8 sides with a flat base, so it's down. They can be carved and polished into the shape, or it can be a natural shape for some crystals like quartz, which is insane that it naturally does that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The energy is directed upward and out. Wherever they are placed, they emit a very focused and directional energy that affects the area around it, as well as other crystals that may be nearby. So use it in the center of a crystal grid to focus its intention and energy. Place one in each corner of a room to create a vortex of energy. Ooh. Meditate with it to let blocked/stagnant energy flow and help you feel reset and more energized. Put some around your workspace to aid in concentration. So the sphere, which I love.
That's pretty.
So smooth and soft. It emits energy from all sides, expanding evenly to an entire room. So it's kind of they remind me of how microphones work.
Yeah.
You can have it. Or unidirectional or all out.
Yeah.
Their energy has a childlike innocence, and they bring a playful, whimsical element to our lives. They provide an overall feeling of stability, harmony, and unity, since their energy is very balancing. The circle resembles the circle of life and brings in life force energy and wholeness.
Ooh.
Then we have the egg. Who doesn't love eggs? I don't trust people that don't like eggs.
Why?
I like eggs sometimes. Like I like eggs, but I definitely have to be in the mood for them.
I love eggs all the time, every day.
I have them almost every day now.
Eggs emit energy from all sides with a focal point at the top. The egg resembles fertility and life and is great for personal transformation, starting fresh, new projects, or brainstorming ideas. Eggs also possess a more feminine energy and can be very empowering. They are said to be able to unlock unconscious energy and help us become aware of energy imbalances or suppressed emotions while supporting us in healing them. Here's the thing. Not that I necessarily believe in this stuff, but there's too much information and it goes back too far for me to think there's not the possibility.
Yeah, I think so too. There's just, oh my goodness, hang on, sorry, my microphone got all messed up. Yeah, like you said, it goes back too far. They've been doing it for too many years for there not to be anything to it,
Yeah. Pyramids, called tetrahedrons in sacred geometry. Its main function is assisting with manifestation. I feel like manifestation is all the rage today.
Oh, of course.
Every other TikTok video
manifest.
Is manifest your best life.
Yep.
Your dream board.
The solid structure base has very grounded and stabilized energy while still allowing it to flow out of the point. They connect energy to the crown chakra, to the root chakra, allowing us to feel in tune with higher dimensional thinking while still staying grounded. Staying grounded, that's the one thing I have trouble with. I'm always floating off my brain.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. With me, not you.
I got that. Crystal wands allow for energy to flow and be directed. Their long shape allows energy to travel up and down as well as in and out. They can help release negative energy or bring in healing energy. You can use the crystal wand to scan the body to intuitively pick up on and locate energy blockages and more energy through auras and chakras. And it's across so many cultures too. They were saying how it goes back to ancient Chinese and then the chakras and stuff like that, and Hinduism. Clusters are geodes, so the natural have strong vibrational energy due to its many points combined together. Each little point emits its own energy. No two clusters are ever the same. Points in the cluster vibrate together harmoniously to bring positive energy and transmute negative energy in any space they're in. They can help us feel more energized mentally and physically and help in decision making. And then there's palm stones, seer stones, and freeforms. So freeforms are just big old statement pieces, essentially a big chunk of crystal.
Oh, okay.
Seer stones have a little polished area. You can kind of look into them. Oh. And then palm stones are tumbled stones, which I have so many of because I love them, are the little tumbled pebbles.
Oh, the kind you literally you can put in your palm and kind of move them around and
exactly.
stuff. Okay, yeah.
Okay, maybe I'll leave the other one for next time because I feel this is getting a bit long. Okay, that's all about crystals. Now,
yay!
Has your mind been changed? Have you been enlightened? Are you ready for your spiritual awakening?
Yes.
Yes. No, I am. I've always kind of been interested. I mean, I've never really gone any further with that interest, but it is something that is interesting to me.
Yeah. Let's do this. This will be fun. Pick a deck and we'll pick a tarot card.
I like the dark blue one in the middle.
I like the black one.
Oh, I didn't even see that one. Oh, yeah,
this
I like that one.
That's an oracle deck, so we can pull one from that too. Different.
Okay.
Shuffle.
What's the difference between a tarot deck and an oracle deck?
So an oracle deck is tarot deck goes back really long. There's a specific system to it. There's a specific thing. Every tarot deck can be read the same way. Oracle decks are up to the artist, and they don't follow a system. like every tarot deck's gonna have 78 cards, 4 suits, court cards, and the major and minor arcana. That's just how it is. Ooh, I just had a bunch of cards jump out. Okay. Whereas oracle decks are basically like, I don't know, you'll see.
Okay.
But somebody tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Ooh, we picked the sun.
Ooh, it's pretty.
So the sun's all about harmony and like joyfulness. So good things are coming.
Yay.
Ooh, I love that, especially since I'm hopping in the car tomorrow to drive 9 hours with my infant. So good things are coming.
Good things are coming.
I have a working interview tomorrow, so.
Yay!
Ooh, good things are coming. Okay, so let's see what the oracle says. So this is the Wild Witch oracle.
Ooh.
Somebody tell me when to stop.
Stop.
The Witch of Encouragement.
Ooh.
You did your best.
I did do my best.
Nope, going into these things that you did your fucking best.
Yay.
I love it.
No matter the outcome. Feel good.
Cute.
I love it.
Ashley.
I feel like oracle cards are more inspirational, more like whereas tarot cards are more centered and more like direct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
Ashley, I just did 2 10-hour drives with my child, so I feel you.
How'd it go?
We stopped a lot.
Okay.
Yes. Like that's why, because the 6-hour drive turned into a 10-hour drive.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha. Well, if you want more of us 3 lovely ladies, you can find us on historiesandmysteries.ca. We are on TikTok, Histories and Mysteries Pod, and we are on Facebook and Instagram, Histories and Mysteries.
if you want to rate and review us, that would be super appreciated.
That would be great. And tell us how you feel about crystals.
Yeah, tell us all your cool crystal stories if you have any. I don't know if there's like such thing as a crystal story, but you know. All right.
Well, we've never gone mining for crystals.
Ooh, that's cool. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening in, and we look forward to bringing you 2 new stories next week.
Bye.
Bye.